Kathy was fed up with feeling sick and tired. She couldn't get help from doctors, her relationship with her daughter was getting worse, and she was in a lot of pain. In the end, she gave in to her fate. She would help herself if no one else could. But she didn't expect this to happen. When Kathy heard the doorbell, she pulled herself up, hunched over, and coughed hard. She used her walking stick to help her get up off the couch. As she shuffled to the door, her cane scraped and tapped on the wooden floor. The workers had shown up. When they went upstairs to finish the job, she went back to her usual spot on the couch. She closed her eyes and hoped that a nap would help her feel better. Then she heard people calling her name. Kathy Wilson, who was 41 years old and lived in Shelbyville, Indiana, was a normal person. She had done a lot of hard work to help her family. She didn't do CrossFit all the time, but she was pretty active. 10 years ago, she got sick out of the blue, but she was sure she was just tired from stress and work. But her daughter had every reason to be worried. Kathy tried to get better by drinking a mix of vitamins and over-the-counter medicines. She tried taking vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin B, zinc, and iron, but nothing helped. After a few weeks, Ashley, her daughter, made her go to the doctor. But the doctor just told her what she already knew and gave her a sick note so she could stay home and rest for a few days. But Kathy's sickness wouldn't go away. Kathy was pale and felt tired at odd times. Her appetite went away, and her health kept getting worse. Ashley was getting more and more nervous. She took Kathy back to the doctor weeks after her first visit. They were surprised that Kathy was still getting worse when she was a strong young woman with a healthy immune system who should have gotten over the flu weeks ago. Now, they, too, were getting worried. Dr. Mary Beth Hensley started to take Kathy seriously and gave her blood and allergy tests to see if she had a disease or an intolerance. All of the tests showed that Kathy was in good health. They didn't know what was wrong, so they tried an elimination method by giving Kathy several different antibiotics. Dr. Hensley had hoped that seeing how Kathy responded to the medicines would help her figure out what was wrong with her, but the opposite happened. Instead of feeling better, Kathy started to feel worse. She was in so much pain that she could hardly keep her eyes open. The mystery illness started to affect her mental health after that. Her family and friends started to worry about her. Maybe she was only sick in her head. But Kathy knew her body well enough to know that something wasn't right. Ashley saw her mother getting worse, and she also felt in her heart that something wasn't right. Kathy was determined to find out what was wrong with her, so she went online and looked for her symptoms. She talked to experts in online chats and tried natural and herbal treatments, but nothing seemed to help. Over time, more and more people stopped believing in her, and no one could help her. She had never before felt so alone. Maybe it was all in her head after all. Over the next 10 years, Kathy went to the doctor often. Kathy got the best care from Dr. Hensley, and she checked for everything she could. She did a lot to try to figure out what was wrong with Kathy. She insisted on tests of the heart, X-rays of the chest, and MRIs of the brain and spine to see if there was a link. But there was nothing strange about it. Dr. Hensley said, "I thought we did a lot of work, but we didn't find a solution." But Kathy was sick and tired of everything. Kathy's mental health had been hurt by the mystery illness for years. It affected her relationships, her job, and most of all, the way she felt about her life. After having flu-like symptoms for 10 years, she decided to help herself if no one else could. So she decided to give herself a treat by remodeling her bathroom. She wanted to turn the whole bathroom into a peaceful place by remodeling it. She worked with contractors to get the job done. But soon after, they found something shocking. When he asked Kathy when her water heater had been put in, the contractor's forehead creased with worry. Kathy knew that it had been put in place years before she got sick, when Ashley was probably a little girl. She gave it a lot of thought and said, "Maybe 10 years ago?" The workers were very upset. They found that the furnace and water heater, which had been installed wrong, were letting small amounts of carbon monoxide leak into the house over a long time. But isn't carbon monoxide poisonous? Carbon monoxide has no color or smell and can't be seen. The gas is a silent killer because of this. When it gets into the body, it pushes oxygen out of the blood, which hurts the heart, brain, and other important organs. Coke can cause chest pain, tiredness, nausea, headaches, and dizziness, with even a small amount of exposure. But long-term exposure can make you sick, weaken your muscles, make you faint, and make you confused. Some people die from getting too much coke. But how did she keep getting wrong diagnoses? Kathy had given up hope after trying for years to find answers from specialists and healthcare professionals. But now, all of Kathy's symptoms from the past 10 years made sense. The answer finally came from the most unexpected visitor. "I couldn't believe it. she said. Kathy had been sick for so long that no one knew what was wrong with her, and it had made her look and feel like an old woman. But she didn't know how to thank them enough. It got worse and worse as the years went by, Ashley said. She was overjoyed when she heard that there was finally proof that her mother was sick. Kathy would now be able to act like a normal person again. After her mother had been sick for years and had to stay in bed, they would now be able to do all the things they had missed, like go shopping or out to dinner. But after all the years they didn't care for her, could she ever forgive them? Kathy hasn't been this happy in a long time. The contractors gave her much more than just a new bathroom, they gave her life back. She is happy that her body, mind, and spirit are all better now. She said, "I feel great. I don't know how long it's been since I was this happy." Even though Kathy has been exposed to poison for years, she is on her way to getting better. However, this story still has some scary parts. Kathy wishes she had tried harder to find out what was wrong. Because the tests were negative, she had been called crazy, delusional, and a hypochondriac for a decade. She was told to stay in bed, work out, or take pills, but nothing helped. No one could tell her what to do. But Kathy was smart to go with her gut. Even though she had to wait 10 years for an answer, she is thankful. Kathy is excited about her new energy and her new life, and she hopes that telling her story will make people more aware of how dangerous carbon monoxide is.